Okay, well, happy Pesach, and now we're back to Hebrew, and we're going to move forward a little bit. And this is review because we haven't had a chance to be together for a little while. So this is the shin, and you remember that here there's the little dot on the right-hand side, and the dot is part of the letter. It makes it the sh sound, so it's different from the other dots that you and I now know, which are dwelling below the words. So it's the shin. This should be pretty easy. So here we go. Line number one. Here we go. Ready? She, she, shay, shay, she,
Sha.
sha, sha. Thank you. And line number two is sheem, 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 shame, 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 sham, sham. Line three, shield, shield, shale, 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 shal, shal, shal. Line four, shal, shali, shali, shale, 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 shala, shala. Five, shame, sham, shal, shal, shale, 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 shale. Line six, shal, shal, lame, lame, sha, lame, shalame. Last word on seven, shalame. Go to eight, shalame, shalame, shalom, shalame, shalame. Line nine, melech, shalame, malchei, shalame, shame, shalame. Line 10, shalame, 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 lechem, shalame, lechem. And line 12, here we go. Shalem, lechem, mimelech, malachi, hamelachim. Once more, last word. Hamelachim. Two vertical dots is the sound. Here on the bottom, you see it's a half vowel. It's called the shva. Nobody cares what the name is. It's just the sound. Doesn't matter what it's called. So there we go. You guys are great. Okay, so that is page number 12, which means we go to page number 13. And here's the friend, the O. Like many forms, two forms of this, O vowel, dots above. If you play baseball, it's over your head. Catch the ball. Come on, Sierra, Susan, catch that ball. It's over your head. It's an O. I made that up. I'll be a millionaire someday. Anyway, There you go. So O by itself or O sitting on top of the toothpick. So across line one, here we go, line one. Mo, ho, show. Stop there for a second. Two dots. The right-hand dot is part of the letter. The left-hand dot is the O vowel. That's the show. Keep going. Ho, low. Line two. Mo, ho, show, ho, low. Skip three. Go to four. Loam, 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 loam. Last half of four. Loam, 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 loam. Last word on five. You know this word. What's this word?
Shalom.
Hey, you got it. You guys are terrific. We're going to line number 8. Shalom, Lamelech, Hamalachim, Lamelech, Malachei, Hamalachim. Now we're going down to line 10. Let me adjust my cursor for just a second. Here we go, line 10. Shalom, Li, Shalom, Lach, Shalom, Lecha, Shalom, Lo, 11. Shalom, Lachem, Shalom, Lachem, Shalom, Lachem. First two words on 12. Shalom, Lechem. There we go. You guys are great. We're moving on to 14. And here we go. Just as a reminder, this is the silent letter. This is the ayin. And it sits on top of a vowel. And therefore, it gives you the chance to read the vowel. Vowels cannot be read by themselves. Vowels have to be attached to a letter.
I missed this, so that's interesting.
Oh, okay. This is the silent letter. It's called the ayin. In order to have the E sound, you have to have this ayin sitting above. You can't just have an E dot by itself floating on paper. You can't just have the A vowel without this. This is it's a placeholder. Mm-hmm. So it's silent. So whichever sound is made by the vowel is conveyed here. So this is E. Mm. So, oh, lost my place. 1 second. Here we go. Try again. So line number 1, is this large enough for people to see? There we go, line number 1. E, E, A, 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 O, O. Those last two on the first line, they're both O. This is the dot, this is the toothpick with the dot. Same sound. Last two on line number 1. O, O.
That's fascinating. Sorry, I had to say that.
Pardon me?
I said that's fascinating.
So and what's interesting is that in Hebrew, there's actually 2 letters that follow the same function. This is the ayin, and the other one is the aleph, and you'll meet the aleph in just a few minutes.
Okay.
So line number 2. Eel, eel, ale, ale, L, all, all, all. Try these last 4 right here. Last 4 on line number 2. All, Ol, all, all. So now we're on line number 3. Ah, all, olam, melech, olam. Last word again is a sight word, olam. This is an important word, it's everywhere. Olam means world or universe. In the ancient days of the formation of our people, olam meant world, as in we'd say the planet, but it also means the universe, the everything. And think of most blessings, it's Baruch atah Eloheinu melech ha'olam. That's the word olam, God, ruler of the universe. And in terms of what we call modern astronomy, this is the term used. Olam is used for the word universe. It could refer to the Earth, but there's a more modern technical term for Earth nowadays. And people, if they want to use astronometric terms, they'd say kochav lechet. But in everyday speech, olam means world or universe. Olam. By the way, means nation or people, and we call ourselves Am Yisrael, the nation of Israel. So line number 4, here we go. Line 4. Al, aleche, ale, chem, alechem, alechem, alechem. Let's go to line number 6. Shalom aleichem. Shalom aleichem. Shalom aleichem. And what's the very famous song we sing on Friday night in the service? Shalom aleichem, exactly right. Literally, it means peace upon y'all. Aleichem is literally upon y'all. In slang, it means peace to y'all. When we greet each other, we want to extend peace. And so a typical Jewish expression of one person between another, you're walking down the street, you bump into each other at the shopping mall, the grocery store, and so on, you say, Shalom aleichem. And if one person beats the other to the punch and says, Shalom aleichem, what's the second person respond? Do you remember?
Aleichem shalom.
Excellent, Sierra. Yes. We invert it and we say, Aleichem shalom, which literally means back at ya. It's backwards. And that indicates that person 1 who greeted was heard by person 2. Just a little bit of courtesy. For the record, it's my understanding that this is done in Arabic as well with salam alaikum and alaikum salam. That tells us that there's a cultural orientation in the ancient Middle East of the importance of hearing somebody's greeting and responding appropriately. So there's an element of courtesy and respect woven into language. I'm paying attention to you, you pay attention to me, and so forth. So here we are. Now we're on line number 8. Shalom aleichem malachei hamelachim aleichem shalom. Let's try that again, line 8. Shalom aleichem malachei hamalachim aleichem shalom. Line 9. Shalom mi melech malachei HaMelachim, Shalom, Melech HaOlam. Line 10. Shalom, Melech HaShalom, Shalom, Am HaShalom, Shalom, LaMelech HaMelachim, LaMelech HaShalom. Woohoo! Hebrew has two silent consonants. These are the two of them, ayin and aleph, and they're accompanied by a vowel. So now we're going to move to the next page. And here we have the aleph. And the aleph is the first letter in the aleph bet. So the second letter is the bet, aleph bet. And Greek hears that and is somewhat influenced by Hebrew. Greek is formulating after Hebrew. So the first two letters in Greek are alpha and beta, as you know, which gave rise to alpha and beta, and then the English term alphabet. So aleph and bet. And you know that also, if you keep on going in Hebrew, in Greek, it's alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Hebrew is aleph, bet, gimel, dalet. And gimel sounds like gamma, and dalet gives rise to delta. So Hebrew is somewhat influencing of Greek in its development. Here's the bizarre thing. When Hebrew is first originating, just like Arabic, Aramaic, and other ancient languages, Hebrew is starting on the right-hand margin, going to the left. When Greek is originating a few hundred years later, Greek starts off right side to the left, and the second line, left side to the right, third line, down, fourth line, it was back and forth, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Imagine if you had, God forbid, dyslexia, and you're trying to read original Greek, and after 200 to 300 years, for some reason that nobody knows, Greek shifted and began on the left margin, went across the page, second line left to right, third line left to right, and remained left to right. Etruscan and Latin were then emerging and influenced by Greek, and the European languages began to go left to right, just as a function of whoever knows why. So here we are. This is the aleph, and you see what it looks like. So again, it's famous. There's no sound. It's a placeholder to go with the vowels. So line number 1 is as follows: E, E, A, O, O, Ah. Let's try that again. E, E, A, O, O, Ah. Line 2 is hard. We'll go slow. Ich, Ich, Ech, 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 Och, Och, Ach, Ach. Good. That's the final ch. Remember, that's the final ch. Line number 3. Ah, 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 Hey, Ah, Hey, Ah, Hey, Ah, Hey. Here comes line 4. Mal, Ach, Mal,
ah,
mal,
ah,
mal, mal,
ah,
Malach is the Hebrew word for angel. We're just coming out of Passover. We're thinking about the angel that passed over the houses when the blood was on the doorpost by the Israelites. This is the Malach. In lots of places in the Torah, we have descriptions of a Malach, an angel visiting. Hebrew word is Malach. In the Shalom Aleichem, we have a song about Malache, angels of Shalom visiting us, bringing peace. So Malache is angels of. And here's that word right there. You see the word Malache right there? See my cursor? Malache, it's on line 5, last 2 words. Malache, last word on 5. Malache. One more time. Malache. That's angels of. So it's plural. So here we go. Line number 6. We'll go slowly. Malache. 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 Now, Malache is not the same as Malache. Malache is kings of. We'd say kings of Spain and France, kings of Italy and the Czech Republic, Malache. Malache is angels of. Malache, Malache. If we slur, we say Malache, Malache. Like, what are we talking about? And people slur all the time with the languages. So we have this in the Shalom Aleichem because we're talking about the angels of peace and the king of all kings, which is God. So you hear Malache and Malache all the time in Shalom Aleichem. And here it is, line 7. Malache, Melech, angels of the king. Melech, Malachi, Hamelachim, king of all kings. That's God. Melech, Malachi, Hamelachim. And now we'll go to number 9. Malachi, Melech Ha'olam, Shalom Lachem, Shalom Aleichem. You know this, we're just zooming. Okay, here we go, line 12. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi, Melech, Malachi, Hamelachim. English note at the bottom of the page. A vowel must always be attached to a consonant. The letters of the alphabet are the consonants. The letters are consonants. Vowels are dots and dashes. You will not have a vowel without a letter. Vowels are dots and dashes. The letters are the shapes of the alphabet. In order to have a vowel, you have to have a consonant. You have to have a letter. There you go. Okay, that's a piece of cake. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's easy. Easy. Let's go on a little bit. And let's see if we can, we are on page number, looks like page 15 to me. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
We might have to exit out for just a moment and see if I can find page 16. It's interesting, when I was loading these pages, I thought that I loaded them in sequence, but even though I loaded them in sequence, it still didn't go through in sequence. And I think this is page 16.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the R sound, folks. This is the R sound. And it's called a resh. And obviously you can see what it looks like. It's kind of a curvy shape. This is the R. In Hebrew, it's called a resh. So R. So line one, are you rowing your boat? Susan, get ready to row your boat. Here we go. Line one. Ready? Here we go. Line one. Row, row. You did it. You rowed your boat. Line number one. Keep going. Re, 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 ray, 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 ray. You know what ray is? It's a drop of golden sun, correct? Gotta laugh, folks. Gotta laugh. Line number two. Thanks for putting up with my goofy humor. I know it's my dad's sense of humor, but you gotta laugh. Line number two. Here we are. Ray, 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 rail.
I'm sorry.
Rail. Let's try that again. Rail, rame, resh. And this happens to be the name of the R letter. In Hebrew, it's called a resh. It's called a resh. So that's how you would spell the word resh. So let's try line number two one more time, please. Ray, ray, rech, rail, rame, resh. Here comes line three. Ray, ha, ray, la, ray, ma, ray, sha, ray, sha, ray, sha, ray. Last word is the same. Share. Let's go back to three and review that, please. Thank you for your patience. We'll go back to line three. Ray, ha, ray, la, ray, ma, ray, sha, ray, Share. You got that one. Let's go back to line number two. Ray, ray, rech, rail, rame, resh, and back to one fast. Here we go. This is fast. Row, row, re, 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 ray, 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 ray. This one here in the middle of line two. Rail, rame, resh. Last word on three. Share. And are you ready for four? Share. Share. That's a hard word. It's made up, but it's a good way of testing all your letters and vowels. Try it again. Share. Sharail, sharame, sharesh, sharesh. Say the last word one more time on line four. Sharesh. Sharesh. And you see here's the shin with the dot on the right. there's the shin with the dot on the right. That's part of the letter. Dots on the right are part of the letter. In the case of the shin, it's kind of an exception to the rule. And now we're on line number 5, line 5. Line 5. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, resh. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, resh. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, re. We'll take a breather for a second. We'll come back to 5. So if you want a glass of water, want to take a glass of water? You okay? You doing all right? Thank you, folks. Thanks for your smiles. Okay, let's try 5 one more time, just as a practice. We're on 5 one more time. Here we go. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, resh. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, resh. Ha, sha, re. Ha, sha, re. Reviewing line 6, we should know some of these words pretty quickly. So look at line number 6. Mal, che, ha, sha, re. Mal, che, ha, sha, re. Mal, che, ha, sha, re. Line 7. Mal, che, ha, shalom. Try that again, line 7. Mal, che, ha, shalom, which literally means angels of the peace. In English, we'd say the angels of peace. In Hebrew, it's a little bit different, but you get the idea. If you have a ha in front of a word, it usually means the. Obviously, if the word after the ha is a noun, so ha means the. Ha shalom is the peace. Do you happen to remember the name of the Israeli national anthem? It's Ha-Tikva. Ha means the, Tikva means hope. Ha-Tikva. And in English, people usually spell it H-A-T-I-K-V-A-H, Ha-Tikva. So that's a famous example of a ha word. Ha-Torah is the Torah. Ha-Mitzvah is the mitzvah. You get the idea. Here we go. Last 2 words on line 7. Mal-ache, ha-shalom. Once more, line 7. Mal-ache, ha-shalom. And now look at lines 8 and 9. Not only have you learned all those letters and vowels, but in terms of lines 8 and 9, these are the words that you've learned from the Shalom Aleichem. So if you had the Siddur open, you could easily read these words excerpted from the Shalom Aleichem song prayer. Line 8. Shalom Aleichem Malache Hasharei Malache. And on line 9, Mi Melech Malache HaMelachim. So hopefully if you have a Siddur, you'll be able to, perhaps if you're turning to the page, in the case of the Lev Shalem Siddur, the red Siddur that we use, it's on page number 5, and you look at those lines and say, oh, I can recognize this. So Susan, you got your Siddur out. Sarah, do you have your Siddur nearby?
I don't have it nearby because I'm at my sister's house.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, let's see. Hold on one second. Do I have my? I got my Siddur. Hold on one second. Is that clear for you, Teresa, Sarah?
Yeah, I can see it. I just don't know how to make your name bigger.
Oh, what I'm showing bigger?
Or like, yeah, because like it's the share screen is big, not your actual screen.
If you go to the top of the page, you might see something. Click where it says share screen, and it might say options with a drop down.
Oh, oh no, I see it. Yeah.
You see options, and it should enlarge the screen.
Okay.
Like
oh,
50%, 100%, or whatever, it fits the screen or whatever.
Oh,
See
yes.
that?
I see.
Yes or no?
Yes, I got it.
So can you see Shalom Aleichem?
Mm-hmm.
Did you recognize any of the words?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Woohoo! Rockin'. You guys are rocking and rolling, you ladies, you. Jazz. Woohoo! I'm psyched because of these women. They are just jumping and growing and learning. Woo-hoo-hoo. I think you guys are terrific. Okay, so we're moving forward. We're going to go one more page. And maybe if you got some energy, we'll go 2 pages. Here we go. This is the Tav. This is called the Tav. And obviously you see that there's a T in this rectangle at the top of the page. So this is the T sound. And like many things in Hebrew, there are 2 forms. So welcome to Confusion City. This has a dot in the center. This is empty. They're both pronounced T. In medieval Europe, Ashkenazim began to pronounce this without the dot as an S sound. And that's why you hear the word Shabbos or Shabbat, because Ashkenazim pronounce this letter without a dot as an S sound. Sephardim and Mizrahi, Eastern Jews, pronounce both forms as a T. So the most familiar word is Shabbos or Shabbat, mitzvah, mitzvot, mitzvahs, mitzvos. So that's this letter that happens to appear in certain words. If you say Asher Kitchana b'mitzvotav, Ashkenazim sometimes have said Asher Kitchana b'mitzvosav, because they pronounce the letter without a dot as an S. But more and more people in the past 70-ish years or so have grown accustomed to reading both forms as a T, because this is how it's done in Israel. And Israeli style Hebrew has become much more the consistent norm throughout the Jewish world in the past 70 or 80 years or so. This letter is called a Tav. If you wrote it in English, I guess you write it a T-A-V, a Tav. So this is the Tav, and line number 1 is going to be fairly simple. I think you can figure this out. Line number 1. So line number 1 is starting with the vowel T, T, Te, 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 Ta, Ta, To, To, Tu. Let's try line 1 again, please. T, T, Te, 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 Ta, ta, toe, toe, to. Let's go line 2, please. T, T, tay, tay, te, ta, ta, toe, toe, to. 2 once more, please.
T,
T, T, tay, tay, te, ta, ta, toe, toe, to. We're staying on lines 1 and 2. We're going to ignore the first 2 characters, and the last 2 characters we're going to read vertically, lines 1 and 2. So 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Here we go. Lines. First character is T, 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 tay, 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 te, te, ta, 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 toe, 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 toe. How are you doing? Everything okay? Let's try that one more time, please. Same pattern, starting the beginning on the right-hand side, lines 1 to 2. T, 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 tay, 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 te, te, ta, 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 toe, 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 toe. And now in the middle of line 2, just these 4 right here, middle of line 2. This is tay, tay, te, ta. One more. Ta. Ah, you're done. Okay. Line 3. Just a reminder that both of these forms are pronounced in the same manner as T. That's the equal sign. So line number 3. Don't do this in public, folks. Okay, doctor, read the word for me.
T.
Exactly. Don't do TT in public now, not nice. Same thing. Susan, next word?
E.T.
Exactly right. And if you're in England, you lift your pinky when you drink this. This is tay, which is how you say tea in Hebrew, tay. You can say tay or you can say tay. It depends on how quickly you're speaking. Tay is the more common term, but anyway. Line number 3, here we go. Tay, ta, toe. If you're leaving somebody, you say ta-ta now. There we go. Those are all my tricks. Line number 4, here we go. Fate, late, mate, shate. That happens to be a person's name. The ancient, but also in modern form, the English name Seth comes from this. For some reason, the sh of shate was rendered into English as a s, and for some reason, the ch at the end of the word was rendered th. So that is shate, which in English is pronounced as Seth. So this word is shate, tate, 8, 8. Both of these are silent letters. There's the ayin, there's the aleph. They both hold the vowel. Back to this. Hate, rate. Let's try line 4 one more time, please. Hate, late, mate, shate, tate,
8,
8,
8,
8, hate, rate. Line 5. Rate, 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 sha, rate, sha, rate, sha, ray, sha, rate. Let's try that one more time, please. 5. Rate, 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 sha, rate, sha, rate, sha, ray, sha, rate. Good. Okay, you know that. We can skip 6. Here comes 7. Last 2 words. Here we are. Last 7. Last 2 words. Ha, sha, rate. Ha, sha, rate. And line 8. Mal, he, ha, sha, rate. Mal, he, ha, sha, rate. Mal, he. Exactly. And here's line 9. And it has the word hasharet in it, which is part of the Shalom Aleichem. A little bit faster, folks. We can do it. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei hasharet. Malachei. 10, fast. Mi melech malachei hamalachim. Some of these are sight words now. We should be able to do a few sight words now. We're no longer in 2nd grade. We're now into 3rd grade. These are sight words. Here we go, line 10. Mi melech malachei hamalachim. Woohoo! You guys are terrific, terrific, terrific. Just to show you what we have coming up in advance, I'll let you go in just a minute. But this is now, oh, pardon me. I may have to do this. 1 second, please. I have to go back to this. And we need to go, here it is. Here it is. So this obviously is review. And look at all the letters and vowels you've learned in just a few weeks. You learned a lot. You guys are doing magnificently. So these 3 are categorized here because they have a couple things in common. The aleph and the ayin are silent, and the hey is just a soft h, so that's why they're over here. Aleph and ayin and hey. These obviously you learned right away at the very beginning, and the sounds are ch, ugh, l, m, m. These are the letters you just learned recently. The resh, the shin, and both forms of tav. All the vowel sounds. Read the vowel sounds with me. Ready? Here we go. E, a, e, a, o, And look at all these words now. This is page 18. And it's loaded in the Google file. So you can access this. Page 18, lines 1 through 13. And then the next page should be here as well. There it is. Page 19, review and expansion. And you can see these letters as well. And these are the letters we just learned. This is the resh in the margin here, the shin, both forms of tav. There's the tav. Review, you remember the mem and the final mem. Obviously, as you go through this chart here on the equivalent of page number 19. So this is available to you to practice. So I want to mention that Hebrew is considered, in the Talmud, it's called the square script. And I want you to just look at some letters. So, oops, sorry, folks. It's intended to be straight lines, so I'm drawing with the cursor. That's the tav. That's the lamed. It has, sometimes it's formed that way, okay? Tav, that's the lamed. Here's the final mem. Here's the shin, undecorated, not just, here's the dot. Here's the chaf. Here's the resh. Here's the final chaf. So what else we got? Ayin, a bit more curvy. That's the ayin. Here's the aleph. So Hebrew is nicknamed the square script. When you get to, here's a hey, you know the hey. When you get to the second letter, which is called the bet, after the aleph bet, Hebrew is called square script in the Talmud. It's a nickname. So you could see that it's kind of boxy. At least most of the letters are kind of boxy. And that's just a little bit of background. And